Sinful Temptation. Episode 3 The Push Away. Isabella woke up alone in her bed, her body still humming from what had happened in the kitchen. She touched her lips, remembering the bruising intensity of Dante's kiss, the way his hands had explored her body with such confident possession. Then she remembered how he'd pulled away. How he'd smirked at her desperation and sent her back to her room like a scolded child. That bastard. She'd spent the rest of the night tossing and turning, aching for a release he'd deliberately denied her. And now, in the harsh light of morning, Isabella was determined to make him admit what he felt. She dressed carefully that morning, tight jeans that hugged every curve, a low-cut blouse that showed just enough cleavage to be distracting. She left her long dark hair loose and wild, the way he seemed to like it. Applied lipstick in a deep red that practically screamed, "Kiss me." If he wanted to play games, she'd make sure he lost. Isabella found Dante in the dining room, having breakfast and reading the financial news on his tablet. He looked infuriatingly perfect in dark slacks and a crisp white shirt, the sleeves rolled up to reveal strong forearms. He glanced up when she entered, and she saw his eyes darken as they traveled over her body. But his expression remained carefully neutral. "Morning," he said coolly, returning his attention to his tablet. "Good morning, Uncle Dante," Isabella said sweetly, emphasizing the word she knew would irritate him. His jaw clenched. "Don't call me that." "Why not? That's what you are. My step-uncle." She walked past him slowly, making sure he got a good view of how those jeans fit. "We're family now, after all." She heard his sharp intake of breath but didn't turn around. Score one for Isabella. She made herself breakfast, just coffee and toast, and sat directly across from him at the long dining table. Close enough that he couldn't ignore her, far enough to seem innocent. "Sleep well?" she asked, taking a sip of coffee. "Fine." His voice was clipped. "Really? I didn't. Couldn't seem to finish what I started." She let the words hang in the air, loaded with meaning. "You know how frustrating that is, Dante. To be brought right to the edge and then left there." His knuckles went white around his tablet. "Isabella, it's almost cruel, don't you think?" She leaned forward slightly, knowing it would give him a perfect view down her blouse. "Getting someone all worked up, making them desperate for more, then walking away. Watch it," he warned, his voice low and dangerous. "Or what?" She smiled innocently. "You'll punish me. Because from where I'm sitting, last night felt an awful lot like punishment already." Dante set down his tablet with deliberate care. When he looked at her, his gray eyes were cold, deliberately cold. "You want to know what last night was?" He stood and walked around the table toward her. "It was a mistake. A moment of weakness I won't be repeating." Isabella's smile faltered. "What?" He stopped behind her chair, his hands gripping the back on either side of her head. But this time, there was no heat in his proximity, only ice. "I told you at the wedding to stay away from me. I warned you I would ruin you. Last night was just a taste of that." His voice was cruel, deliberate. "Did you really think it meant something? That I felt something for you?" Her heart clenched painfully. "You're lying." "Am I?" He came around to face her, and the coldness in his eyes made her want to cry. "Let me be very clear, Isabella, since you seem to have trouble understanding. You're a beautiful distraction. A convenient body living under my roof. I wanted to see if you tasted as good as you looked. Now I know." Curiosity satisfied. "Stop," she whispered. "What? You wanted honesty. Here it is." He leaned down, his face inches from hers. "You're nothing special, princess. Just another girl desperate for attention from an older man. I've had dozens like you, younger, prettier, better in bed. You really think you're different?" Each word was a knife to her heart. Isabella felt tears burning behind her eyes, but she refused to let them fall. Not in front of him. "You're trying to hurt me," she said, her voice shaking. "You're trying to make me leave." Finally, she gets it. His smile was cruel. "Yes, Isabella. I want you gone. I want you to pack your bags and find somewhere else to live. Because this," he gestured between them, "isn't happening. Not now. Not ever. I don't believe you. Believe what you want." But here's the truth. I don't do relationships. I don't do love. I don't do commitment. I use women for one thing, and once I'm done, I throw them away. Is that really what you want? To be used and discarded? If that's all you wanted, you would have taken me last night, Isabella said, standing to face him even though her legs were shaking. You stopped because you felt something. You're scared. I stopped because you're my brother's stepdaughter and this whole thing is a disaster waiting to happen. His voice rose, the mask slipping for just a moment. I stopped because I have some shred of decency left, and taking advantage of a naive 23-year-old who thinks she wants me would destroy what little is left of it. I'm not naive. Yes, you are. He grabbed her shoulders, his grip almost painful. You think you know what you want. You have no idea what I am, Isabella. I'm not some romantic hero who's going to fall in love with you and give you a happy ending. I'm broken. I'm damaged. I destroy everything I touch. Then destroy me, she said, tears finally spilling down her cheeks. I don't care. Something flickered in his eyes, pain, longing, regret. Then the walls came back up, harder than before. Get out, he said, releasing her and stepping back. Get out of my sight before I say something even worse. Dante, get out. His roar made her flinch. Isabella ran. She ran from the dining room, up the stairs, into her bedroom, and slammed the door. Only then did she let herself collapse on the bed and sob. He was pushing her away, deliberately hurting her to make her leave. And God help her, it was working. 3 days later, Isabella had been avoiding Dante completely. She left early in the morning before he woke up, stayed out all day job hunting and apartment hunting, came home late and went straight to her room. If he wanted her gone, fine. She'd find somewhere else to live. But finding an affordable apartment in the city on her entry-level marketing salary was proving nearly impossible. Everything was either too expensive or in terrible neighborhoods. She was on her laptop in the library, scrolling through rental listings, when she heard footsteps. Still here. Dante's voice came from the doorway. Isabella didn't look up. I'm trying to leave. Apartments are expensive. I'll pay for it. Now she did look up, her eyes narrowed. I don't want your money. Don't be stubborn. I'll cover your rent for 6 months while you get on your feet. Why? So you can ease your guilt about being a complete jerk. She slammed her laptop shut. No thanks. I'll figure it out myself. He walked into the room, and she saw he looked tired. Like he hadn't been sleeping well either. Isabella, don't. She stood, preparing to leave. You said everything you needed to say the other day. I got the message loud and clear. Did you? He moved to block her path. Because you're still here, not by choice. Trust me, I'd be gone in a heartbeat if I could afford it. Stop being difficult and let me help you. Help me. She laughed bitterly. You don't want to help me, Dante. You want to get rid of me because I make you feel things you don't want to feel. Because for the first time in your life, you actually care about someone and it terrifies you. That's not. It is true. You can lie to yourself all you want, but I see right through you. She stepped closer, tilting her chin up defiantly. You're not pushing me away because you don't want me. You're pushing me away because you do, and you don't know how to handle it. His jaw clenched. You don't know what you're talking about. Don't I? Then explain why you look like you haven't slept in 3 days. Explain why you're offering to pay my rent instead of just letting me figure it out. Explain why you're standing here arguing with me instead of ignoring me like you've been doing. Because I'm trying to do the right thing. His control cracked. I'm trying to protect you from making the biggest mistake of your life. Wanting you isn't a mistake. Yes, it is. He grabbed her arms, his grip tight. Because I can't give you what you need, Isabella. I can't be the man you deserve. I will hurt you, disappoint you, break your heart. It's what I do. It's all I know how to do. Then teach yourself something new, she whispered. Take a chance on me. On us. For one moment, she saw him waver. Saw the longing in his eyes, the desire to just give in and pull her close. Then he released her like she'd burned him. No. His voice was flat, emotionless. Find another place to live, Isabella. I don't care if you have to get a roommate or move to a cheaper neighborhood. Just, get out of my house and my life. He walked away, leaving her standing there with tears streaming down her face. This time, Isabella didn't run to her room and cry. She picked up her phone and called her friend Sophia. I need a favor, she said when Sophia answered. Can I crash at your place for a while? 2 days later, Isabella packed her bags in silence. She'd said goodbye to her mother and Richard that morning, made up some excuse about wanting more independence, needing to be closer to work. They'd been disappointed but understanding. She didn't tell them the real reason. Their new family member was systematically destroying her heart. It was late afternoon when she finished packing. She'd arranged for a moving service to get her things tomorrow. Tonight, she'd stay at Sophia's apartment. She was carrying her suitcases down the grand staircase when she saw him. Dante stood in the foyer, hands in his pockets, watching her descend. He looked haggard, like he'd aged 5 years in the past week. You're leaving, he said. Not a question. Isn't that what you wanted? Isabella kept her voice steady, proud of herself for not crying. Yes. That single word hurt more than all his cruel ones combined. Well, congratulations. You got your wish. She reached the bottom of the stairs. I'll be out of your hair, out of your house, out of your life. You can go back to your one-night stands and your emotional unavailability and pretending you don't feel anything. She moved toward the door, but his voice stopped her. Isabella. She paused but didn't turn around. What? Silence stretched between them. Then, nothing. Have a good life. The dismissal in his tone shattered something inside her. Without another word, Isabella walked out the door and didn't look back. She didn't see Dante's hand slam against the wall the moment the door closed. She didn't see him slide down to the floor, his head in his hands. She didn't hear him whisper, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. All she knew was that leaving hurt worse than anything he'd said. And somewhere deep down, Isabella knew this wasn't over. Men like Dante Blackwood didn't let go easily. Especially when they were desperately in love and too broken to admit it.